Hello and welcome to Beautiful Mind-IAS. I am Arun Kumar. One FAQ has been asked by several students, and the question is, why do we have several methods in psychology? As you know, there are basically five quantitative methods: method of experiment, naturalistic observation, survey, case study, and correlation. So, if psychology is a behavioral science or claims to be a science, then why are there five methods? And not only five, these are the five methods in quantitative uh, uh, approach. There is another approach, and that is called qualitative approach. If you look at the methods using qualitative approach, the number will be even higher. Qualitative approach involves case history and autobiography, personal interview, focus group discussion, grounded theory. There are so many things. So if you club all these things, number will be higher. Now, here is the answer to this question. If you look at this question, that why do we have several methods? See, psychology, as you know, is a discipline that studies behavior and mental processes. If we look at behavior and mental processes of human and animals including, then we find that these things are much more complex than behavior of chemicals that we study in chemistry. For example, sodium react with hydrochloric acid to form sodium chloride. So this is a very simple thing. Plain reactions is there. Likewise you can you can study and find that how these chemical reacts and what are the pattern. Very predictable. What about human behavior? Human behavior or is it simple, including animal behavior? Behaviors are very complex. It have many facets, and moreover, mental processes are not directly visible, not observable and measurable, but we have interest in studying those things. So what would happen? In that case, we need to use multiple method. For example, suppose your interest is knowing that if boys are more aggressive than girls, do boys differ in their book carrying behavior, how they carry their book from the girls? Mean to say that their book carrying behaviors are different. There is gender differences. This example is given in your textbook Introduction to Psychology by Morgan and King. Now suppose you are interested in this, which method you will use? Because your interest is in naturalistic things, so you will be interested in knowing natural thing. So you need to use something that is called naturalistic observation, because your interest is in knowing naturally occurring behavior. You don't want artificiality in behavior. On the other hand, suppose you want to study, some behavior where your interest is in single individuals. Suppose some person has very poor self-esteem, and being a psychologist, you are interested in knowing that what is the reason for that thing, how it has evolved, what is the implication of these poor self-esteems. So you are studying a single individual at deeper level, just to study the behavior of that individual, mental processes of that individuals, and to provide relief to that individuals. In this context, let me tell you one thing, that there are four goals of psychology: description, explanation, prediction, and control. So you try to achieve all the goals, accomplish all the goals in this context. So naturalistic observation is required for certain things. Case study method, which has been taken from medical science, is required in this kind of things. Suppose you are interested in knowing attitudes of people, opinion of people, not only single but several individuals, then which method will you use? Naturalistic observation, it will take a lot of time. Your interest is in something that is inside the individual. Suppose what is my attitude towards uh, electric vehicle, or certain health policy, government health policy. So your one opinion is not important. You are interested, and this is the reason that sometime opinion poll is done that in during elections. Then which method you will use? Case study? No. Then you will use a method that has been borrowed from or taken from sociology, and that is method of survey. Rather to study the whole population, we study a sample and their behavior. We try to understand, discover the attitude of the people through that sample, and we try to generalize these things. They is called sample survey. So survey could be broader also and sample survey also, but method is called survey method. Getting? Now come forward. If you are interested in knowing, predicting something, so there is a method that has been borrowed from statistics. Is called method of correlations. Two things are correlated, in terms of two variables, you can say. If choosing anything that varies is called variable. For example, mood varies, so it is a variable. Performance varies, it is a variable. Okay. IQ varies, it is variable. So what is the relation between these two things? If you are interested in knowing this thing, then you can do one law. If you are interested in knowing this thing, then you can do one thing, that you calculate the strength of correlations, and on the basis of one you can predict about the other. Let me tell you one example. That it has been found out of clinical research that children with lower IQ generally develop behavioral problem like thumb sucking, yelling, fighting, many things in classroom. These two things are correlated. And suppose you come to know that this child has got substandard IQ. Can you predict that whether this child could develop behavioral problem in future? You can. So see this thing. Two things are correlated. It means on the basis of one you can predict other. You are getting? This happens in economics also, that when things are going up, price is going up, inflation is high, demand will go down. So this happens in other areas also, including psychology. So behavioral prediction is also possible. Suppose suicide and depressions are correlated. In extreme cases, this happens. So you can make prediction about that. If person is suffering from this thing during this stage, this could be possible. And this is the and understood. So correlation is also important method when we are interested in knowing and making prediction. And finally, method of experiment. See, we in psychology discover many principles. For example, if what would happen if we reinforce a behavior? B.F. Skinner in his experiment found that it is repeated. That behavior that is reinforced will be more frequent in future. Suppose he has given this theory. You do not believe this thing. What you can do? You can test. So method of experiment is a hypothesis testing method that will enable you to test whether this principle is correct or not. When you say that, where you will read more, in library or in your own personal room? Suppose people say that in library. So no, I can study more in our personal room. Conduct a study that take reading how much hours you spend and you are capable to spend in at library, and then how much hour you study fruitfully at back home in solitary state, and then you can compare by controlling all these things. Suppose your room is air conditioned and library is not, then in that case things will vary. So by controlling all control variables, you will just see that what is the effect of social conditions on performance or reading behavior. You can check this thing. So method of experiment is about testing hypothesis about behavior. See, in physics, we have several hypotheses. Newton's law hypothesis. Here, this has been tested. Likewise, in psychology, there are several principles that have been developed out of experimental research. We conduct experiment and then we say that, okay, this happens. For example, you say that if you study something and things are similar, if content is very similar, you might forget. And this has been tested. Yes, confusion, semantic confusion may arise because of the semanticity, similar meaning, and that is why you need to very clear about while learning. You should understand the meaning also and segregate also. Then you will be able to. This has been tested. So 5 methods are there. Now your answer. And why do we have several methods? See this thing. Our interest is in different facets of behavior. Sometimes we are interested in describing behavior, that how boys carry their books, how lions do hunting. Do they differ from the hunting pattern of tiger? Your interest is in that natural behavior. So suitable method will be naturalistic observation. But if you are interested in not only describing but knowing why, then method will be experimental method of experiment. If you are doing prognostic research, that prediction, your aim is to predict something. Correlational research, aim is to know about something, some particular case at the deeper level. Case study method, survey. See this thing, it depends upon what are the facets that you are focused upon. That will decide that which method you should use. And this is the reason that we require in fact multiple methods. And moreover, I have said that there are qualitative methods also. Sometimes people have got something from their own experience. See, when you say that, in when India got independence, then things were different, from the things that we face today. Suppose one person is discussing about that thing. So you are relying upon the experience of that person. A train to Pakistan. Khushwant Singh has written a book. Now, whatever he has described in the book, you are relying upon the experience of that person, and that becomes the valuable source of data, but qualitative data. Get it? So that also is incorporated while studying the behavior of individuals. What were the values of in the society that time? What were the mindset of the people? You are not conducting survey. You have not conducted, in fact, survey. So what you will say? That this behavior is so complex, so diverse, and so it is at the sometimes hidden also. Suppose what is going inside my mind, you will apply case study method, and you can take interview also, you can administer test also. What is in my unconscious mind, how will you come to know? So you will use psychoanalytical method also, that will come under case study method. So see, because the behavior is very complex, it has many facets, we require different methods to study it. I hope you have understood. And this is a series of fundamental psychology. I am trying to clarify your basic concept with help. If you are interested in advanced knowledge, you can join our courses. Details are given on our website. Link is in the description box. Thank you very much.